Hello and welcome to this recap of our sixth study session where we're talking about screen schemes, work type screen schemes, team managed spaces, and a lot more for the ACP-120 Jira Cloud Admin. Intro. This session completed our discussion of various schemes we use to configure work types. Now, in the past, we've covered various things like fields, but here we're going to dig into screens, which are the collections of fields and how they're displayed in Jira. There are three different operations that we'll be talking about: the ability to create, view, and edit work items. Now, these are important because we do have the flexibility to display different fields on different operations by every work type. So here we're going to dig into the screen schemes, the mapping of screens to particular types of operations, and then the work type screen schemes. How do we tell Jira which of those screen schemes to use on which work type? We'll also, though, dig into work item field context, which allows a space admin to tweak what shows up on work items as people are using them. And we'll finalize our discussion by talking about team managed spaces and how they handle all of this. So let's jump into Jira, and we're going to take a look at the screen schemes. To get to this, we're going to go up to our gear and then go down to work items. Most of the schemes appear in here, and we're particularly looking for this screens section. If you recall, a screen is just a collection of fields that we can display. Before those show up on a work item, though, we have to put them into a scheme. Now, these screen schemes will take a screen and map it to an operation. So I'll open up this top one, and what I'll see is the operations. I've got create, edit, and view, and then the particular screens that get tied to that operation. So this is telling Jira when someone is viewing a work item in the CS space, use this particular screen. When they're editing one, use this one, and when they create one, use this one. There is a default. So if we didn't map a particular operation, Jira will know what to do, but this does give us a lot of flexibility. We may want to display different fields when someone creates a bug than when they edit it, or vice versa. So this screen scheme allows us to change which one of these operations has a particular screen associated to it. Now, we do have some actions here. We can go in and edit these. So we can say change the particular screen we want to appear when we're on this particular operation. And we can repeat this for as many screen schemes as we would like. Now, this isn't necessarily telling it to go to the CS space. This is just the name of this screen scheme. And this is important because we're going to take this and then go into our work type screen schemes. This is where we'll actually map those screen schemes to work types and spaces in Jira. Work type screen schemes are what allow us to take a screen scheme, a collection of different screens mapped to operations, and connect it to a particular space. This is important because any given space may require different screens to appear for different things. For example, my design team may handle bugs differently than my facilities team. This means they'll want different things to show up when they create different work types. So here I'll just dig into design and see what they have. And I can see they are using two different screen schemes. They have a default, which means unless the admin has explicitly provided instructions, use this screen scheme for everything. So in this case, bugs in the facility space get a particular screen, the Jira Service Management screen scheme for CS. Everything else gets this design, web design process. We can have a different screen scheme for every work type in a space. So I can click on Associate a Work Type and say, Change Requests. Use this particular screen scheme. This allows me to control which fields appear on the screen scheme for every work type in every space. I'm not suggesting every work type needs its own explicit screen scheme. Many times the default is more than useful, but this is where we have the flexibility to change which screens appear in which spaces on which work types. So this is how we can get our screen, which is a collection of fields, to appear on a work type by putting it into a screen scheme and associating it to an operation, and then finally connecting it here with a work type screen scheme to a particular space, and then to a particular work type. So now that we know how we can get our screens to show up on our work items, we're going to talk about work item layouts. This is something actually that a space admin can access. I'm going to go into Space Administration for Mobile Dev and go to Space Settings, and I'm going to go look for the Work Items menu, particularly Layout. Now, many of the menus in here are just informational for a space admin. I can't change the issue type schemes. However, I, as the space admin, can modify the layout. Now, you'll notice that these are grouped by screens. So it's saying all of these work types share these screens, all of these ones share a different one. This is our work type screen scheme in action. What I can do though is click Edit Work Item Layout, and modify it a little bit. I can say which fields should be description fields, show up on the left side of the work item, and which are context, show up on the right. Or maybe even take some away entirely, remove them. This does not modify the underlying scheme. This does not allow me to create fields. It's just giving the space admin a bit more control over what appears where. So keep in mind your space admin has some ability to come in here and modify what happens, including hiding fields when they're empty. A very useful thing because you'll have a lot of fields that maybe aren't always used. Your space admin can tell Jira, hide these if they're not in use. So this is our work item layout, also called an issue layout with the old term, but it gives some control to the space admin to determine what shows up when someone's working on a work item. But again, this does not replace the need for our screen schemes, or our work type screen schemes. A quick interruption as we hear from this video's sponsor, Service Rocket, and learn about their crew member program. They help me make these videos possible, so give them a quick listen, check out the links below, and we'll be right back to learning very soon.
What excites me most about the crew member program and Service Rocket is that with Atlassian's over 300,000 customers, there's an opportunity for everyone to win and for everyone to have a part of the Atlassian ecosystem. What a crew member does is they come in at the times when Service Rocket needs to either scale up a project or has a specialty expertise that we're needing to help our customers get the most out of their Atlassian software. So they're not just joining a contract or a project, they're actually joining a community of talent that is all focused on being the most reliable partner. Anyone around the world can be part of the crew member programs. Think of yourself as part of a community and a movement that is growing the Atlassian ecosystem.
Everything we've spoken about so far relates to company managed spaces. Again, we're talking about schemes, so that automatically means company managed. I'm going to back up and we're going to find a team managed space. Here I have employee onboarding, and I'm going to go into its space settings. And we're going to see a very different menu. I'll open up work types, and what you'll notice is the work types are just listed. And then if I open one up, I'll have a similar screen to that work item layout. However, I can do things like create brand new fields. There are no schemes in here, so there's no work type screen scheme. This is telling Jira directly, this work type task in this team managed space gets these fields. Now I have access to system fields, which will be all the custom and system related fields. I can drag them off or back on, but I also have access to fields unique to this space, like job role. Keep in mind that job role is only accessible in this particular space. I can't share it because it's not a company managed space. However, as the space admin, I can actually go make new fields if I want. So this is the biggest difference between team and company managed spaces in terms of what fields are visible and available. In both cases, we can control the layout a bit, but in team managed spaces, we can make brand new fields. And keep in mind that the fields created in a team managed space have some other limitations. They aren't accessible elsewhere, and they can cause challenges on the back end with things like integrations, but they do allow the space admin to have more control over their space. So that is our recap for section 6 of our study sessions for the ACP-120, where we finished off talking about setting up work items. We covered a lot of different schemes, so please make sure you are taking time to study and explore them on your own. Draw out diagrams, get hands-on, and reach out for help if you need it. We do have our Discord and WhatsApp communities right over here. Whoa, can you make them appear magically? But also comment directly on this video. I'll be happy to help you out. I do also have a free companion course that you can get access to. It includes things like labs, quizzes, and other exercises to help you out. So that is all we have for this particular recap. Make sure you're keeping an eye out for additional study sessions, and please keep engaging with this. The more you study, the more hands-on you get, the easier it gets. I do want to thank you for taking time to learn with me, and also a special thank you to my channel members. These are all people who directly contribute to help support what I do, and I'm very, very thankful that they have decided to step up and contribute directly. If you're curious for more, check the links out down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next session soon.